I think this is working for bread. Excellent. All right, that's live. That's live. Hey guys, how are ya? We have power, we have internet. We didn't lose anything actually. We just got a bunch of rain. And all right, good. Everything's live and working. Awesome. We'll wait for you guys to come on in. But today, Monday, it's still raining outside pretty good. We have remnants from Tropical Storm Henri, and it's still raining. And ran a bunch of errands today. Got stuff done. Got some food. Farmers market, and this beautiful heirloom tomato that we're going to cut up later. It's beautiful. In fact, the potatoes we have here, we actually have mashed up for our potato bread that we will be using. This book right here. So Victorian and Edwardian recipes that are in here. I'm really excited. So we got this one we're going to be using. We have our potatoes that are already cooked and mashed. And in the recipe in this book for bread making, we have the potato bread. And the reason why they utilize potato bread is because when they had those times in history where they had shortages of wheat and certain grains, bakers had to find creative ways to stretch those grains. And a great way to do it was potato bread. So tonight we're going to be doing that and catching up from post-storm. And Eva's actually going to help me make bread. So we have our bowl and all of our ingredients. And on top of all of that, we're trying something for the first time. And we are actually attempting to dry meat with salt. And earlier, we took a roast, thawed it, cut it in half, and covered it in salt, different types of salts, different, see if you guys can see that meat there. And I'm actually recording a video. I will be documenting the whole process this whole entire week from Monday to Friday and see how it turns out. And so far, it's working beautifully. We have a roast cut in half. It was just under 2 pounds. We ground down some different salts. Big crystals, small crystals. Hey, Rob, how are you? And that's what we're doing right now. We have some meat that we're going to be drying. Let's see how this turns out. So that's one experiment we're doing this week. And today, basically, we're just happy enough to have power and electricity. I think the height of the storm, I had poweroutage.us. It's a great website you can use to track the power outages or whatnot. So at poweroutage.us, at the height of the storm, I saw just under 17,000 people, I think, without power in our state. And luckily, very fortunate, we didn't lose power this time. The last time we had a tropical storm come through, that was Isaiah's 3 years ago. We lost power for 7 days and had to get real creative with doing laundry outside and washing and cooking outside and whatnot. So very fortunate we have a generator, tested it, didn't have to use it once, thank God. So that's what we got going on. So we're going to use the recipe from bread making. This in 1805. The art of bread making. Tons of recipe in here. Lots of recipes, different takes on making bread, the history as to why they did what they did when it came to recipes, making their own yeast, different grains. But today, I want to fixate on potato bread. Because who doesn't love a really good potato bread? So this is the recipe that we're going to be working with. Simple ingredients: flour, salt, yeast, water, and potatoes. Potatoes was, again, a great way to stretch out the recipes. So we're going to get our flour in here, knead it up, let it rise, and then bake it on a nice stone round. And the fun thing about making bread like this, you can put whatever you want in there. Today we're going to focus on a simple recipe, potato bread. So I hope you guys are doing well depending on where you are, how you guys fared with the storm. And again, really fortunate. I know Tennessee, I saw an article earlier today of I think 11 people that died with flash flooding, and still I think over 25 people missing. Jersey got heavily flooded as well. Where we are geographically, it's kind of hilly and it drains really well. We also have a curtain drain around our home, so that helped out tremendously. That also saved our sub pump. So I think where you live, if it's flat or hilly, or even little valleys, we didn't lose power. We didn't get flooded. So very, very, very fortunate there. Again, very simple ingredients: salt, flour, yeast, and our ingredients going to be potatoes to make it stretch. Again, earlier in the day, we were able to fish out a galvanized trash can that we're going to use as our root cellar. So we're going to experiment, dig a hole in the ground, put the 30+ gallon galvanized trash can in, and use that to store our root vegetables. Be a fun way to experiment, see what works, what doesn't work, and then the changes we need to make, see it happen. Yeah, very fortunate. I'm not gonna lie, there were some articles we were reading the day before the storm and the morning of predictions and the rain amounts and what they expected for power outages. And at one point, 50 to 600% power outages in the state. And thank God we didn't get that many. But we had the whole house cleaned up. We were doing laundry in preparation, make sure we had clean everything, vacuuming and cleaning and trying to run errands, just basically get ready. But we got a clean house. I have no chores today other than this, and couldn't be happier. The rain comes and goes. We still have rain bands coming. We're on the western side of the state. We got do it now so you don't panic in the future. Exactly, Rob, exactly. That's why this is a great time, like I said before. Find old cookbooks, find old tools, things that don't require electricity to operate and run, and practice these skills. Don't just buy the books and store them away until you absolutely need them. Practice this stuff now while the times are somewhat calm, and you can learn from your mistakes and see what works and what doesn't work instead of relying on it when you absolutely need them and it doesn't work or things don't work out the way you think they're going to work out. Like gardening. There's so many things I'm still learning about gardening that I'm trying and discovering and trying to tweak here and there, see what works, and then make those changes. Some of the recipes in these old books are really fascinating. The way they view foods and the classes that would cook and eat these certain foods. What was considered lower class, what was considered upper class. It's really funny. I want to say 150, 200 plus years ago, it was almost backwards. Anyone who ate white bread, the cheap stuff, was considered upper class. And those who ate the whole grains, the rye breads, the barley breads, the whole wheats, were actually eating a little bit more nutritious foods, was seen as lower. So nowadays, it's completely backwards. People paying extra money for things that they didn't back then. But what I find even more fascinating is those times where they had poor growth with crops or crop shortages and what they did to make certain foods stretch and getting really creative with recipes and using alternatives for those recipes. Like right now, today we have the dehydrator going. You might hear that. We have meat drying with salt for the first time. We'll see how that goes. And we're trying this potato recipe here. We got the upper crust of society. Yeah, exactly. Very crusty. But I love baking, and I love trying these old recipes. I did try one from the wartime cookbook with the leeked. It was like leek pudding. It was like a really bland pie crust with leeks. I don't like leeks. That was the first time trying them, and I gotta tell you, I didn't like it. It was weird. I didn't like the oniony flavor from the leeks. But back then, again, during those challenging times, you had to make do with what you had. So I'm just gonna work this dough. My add a little more water, my add a little more potato. But it smells good already. And it's a rainy day. And right now it's about 73 degrees, 72 degrees. So that's why I have the dehydrator going, and that's why I'll be baking the bread tonight, because after tonight it's supposed to get in the upper 80s and humid. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and then more showers again at the end of the week. So when it's cool and cloudy days like this in the summertime, that's when I try to get my baking in. Right, the time I'm gonna run something like the dehydrator. So I love these old cookbooks. It's very enlightening as to how people lived back in the day. Food preserving, like drying meats with salt. And when I researched it, this one woman in Absolute History, her and her daughter used different size crystals of salt. They used very fine powder to very, very coarse. So you had different layers and levels of dehydrating the meats to remove all that moisture to make it last a long time. Very fascinating, very eye-opening, and appreciative to refrigeration and refrigeration, freezers, food preserving that we have today on a mass scale. So people back then were working 17, 18 hours a day, from farming to cleaning, just living. And really maximizing those warm times in the summertime and fall. And there was a video I was just watching last night. The question the guy asked was, could you survive without refrigeration? And obviously the answer is yes, because many generations before us have. But they talk about the different solutions and ideas that people use to preserve their foods, like using wells, root cellars, ice houses. But the one that I really liked the most, which made more sense, was more feasible for a lot of people to utilize, was eating seasonally. That means whatever was in season, springtime, summertime, and fall, you would just consume that. And when a cow was butchered for beef, it was like a village effort. Like everyone would take a small cut and then cook it right then and there, because they couldn't refrigerate, they couldn't freeze it. So it was very much a group effort. It was a great way to keep things fresh, just keep the animals alive until you would butcher them and then make a meal from your cut of the cow. But I like that idea of eating seasonally, and then whatever it is that you would be able to dry, smoke, can, and preserve for the wintertime, you would do that. You would make your liqueurs and alcohols and jams and canned things, and you would take your meats and you would smoke them, or you would salt them, and then eat them accordingly. In the order to what would spoil first, you would eat that sooner. And then whatever would last the longest, you would sparingly use that up until spring and summer when you're able to harvest foods again. Spring lamb? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This has been real eye-opening. Here's the thing. I didn't grow up doing this. I didn't grow up making bread from scratch. Oh, good job. And canning stuff on the regular like this, and gardening to this level. Very much a constant learning curve, but the rewards are so satisfying. From seed to harvest, it's a lot of fun. The fruit trees, the nut trees, a lot of fun. And the fun thing is, my daughter's learning right along with me. So she gets to grow up with this. So we're going to keep kneading the bread, and the reason we're going to knead it really good is to build up that gluten, and more importantly, remove any air pockets. The more you knead it, the less air is going to be in there, and expand and give those holes in the bread that you really don't like. A little sticky, I'm going to keep going some more. But I just want to show you how easy it is to do this. They're rain just about stopped again. It's coming in rain, like waves. And as for our garden, when we start harvesting the potatoes and the corn soon, I'm going to plant some buckwheat to add nitrogen back into the ground for next year. Really easy, comes up real fast. 4 to 5 weeks, 6 weeks max. Great way to add that nitrogen and nutrition back into the soil, so when you grow again next year, the soil's still healthy. And you can save some and harvest some and make some really yummy buckwheat pancakes for those cold winter months. And that's it. Really easy to make. Really spongy. We'll let this rise, and then we'll bake it. And then have some nice toast early in the morning. This smells really good. Especially when it bakes. You wake up to that smell in the morning. It's a great way to fall asleep. The smell of fresh baked bread lingering in the air. And the good thing is, right before the storm hit, I was trying to get ready, making food and grinding coffee, that I really didn't have to do too much this morning, which is kind of nice. But season's not over yet. We took delivery of 4 tons of pellets for our pellet stove we're going to bring in soon. As soon as the rain is over, probably tomorrow or Wednesday, we'll move that inside the house. There's our bread. Potato dough. What I'm thinking about doing is letting this rise in the bowl, flipping it onto the stone, and then just letting it bake like this beautiful dome shape. And that's it. I'm going to give me the pan. I know there's a few of you in state and surrounding states. I hope you guys fared well with the storm. Like I said, we're very fortunate. We didn't lose power this time. Even the wind gusts weren't that bad this time around. I think the highest we maybe saw was upper 20s. Very gentle, steady rains. You get to heavy bands every now and then, but all in all, very, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. All right, so we're going to take out the dough. I'll give it a good spray so it comes out easily. Oh, Henry will be leaving soon. Good. Henry's hanging out, waiting for your bread. he can't have it. Yeah. Thank you for watering your garden. Please leave. And that's it. So we're gonna let that rise an hour or so, and then we'll bake it. Yeah, that's it. Alright. Quiet. How you guys doing? Yeah, so that's what we got going on today. We got to go to the farmer's market, briefly get some potatoes for the bread, a yummy, beautiful heirloom tomato for dinner, and some roast that we will be curing for the next few days. And what I've been doing was I recorded the whole process, and I'll record it again tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and hopefully I'll put it out Friday or Saturday, the entire start to finish of drying meat with salt. Yeah, first time doing it so far. There's about, I want to say, a good fair amount of liquid in here. Let's see if I can take this, show you guys. Yeah, it's still dripping. I just saw another drip going there. That's pretty cool. I like it. Hey, Mr. Boston, how are you? How'd you do up there in Massachusetts with Henri? I want to say it's like a very, very, very light drizzle right now. We did see a couple quick, brief pockets of sunshine today, but I want to say we're like well over 6 inches of rain. No, I'm really relaxed today. We got so much stuff done before the storm that got to take it almost easy today. Didn't have to clean, didn't have to do as many errands or stuff like that. Like I said earlier, ran some errands, went to the farmer's market, made up some mashed potatoes for our bread that we just finished kneading, and it's going to be rising right now. Here's the bread that we put together. Trying to get cattails. Oh, those things are fun. I did not dress for the occasion. Yeah, here's our dough. This is our potato bread dough that's going to be rising right now. So I was discouraged from doing so. I was trying to harvest the child that kills pain. Well, keep at it. And that's the thing. This is the first time we're actually drying meat with salt, so how well it works, we don't know. We won't know until maybe Thursday, Friday, but you gotta start somewhere, right? Absolute History was a place we tried the ideas from, using different styles and types of crystal salts. We have powdered salt, we have big crystal salt and medium-sized salt, and a little bit of molasses. They actually utilize molasses for that recipe to dry the meat. So we're gonna give that a shot. I'll record it every day, see how it works out. And the book that we used today was this right here from 1805, The Art of Bread Making. Lots of fun recipes in here, very interesting information, how they came about with their recipes, utilizing different grains, even vegetables, not just potatoes, but they actually tried using peas. Here's a whole section about experiments, what works, what didn't work. So that's it. We have power, we have electricity, we didn't lose anything, which is great. So yeah, we have bread we're baking later tonight because I figure it's 73 degrees right now. So we have the dehydrator going with peas that will bag tomorrow with the groceries we got earlier today. And we will bake the bread tonight. And then come tomorrow, we will bag all that stuff and keep reporting on our meat, how this is doing. Yeah, like I said, I've never dried meat with sauce before, but very fascinated. It looks easy enough to want to try. So we took a 2-pound roast, cut it in half. He even helped me put it in a whole bunch of different styles of salts. And now we're just letting it drip. I want to say there's about a 1/4 cup, maybe a little bit more of liquids on the bottom of the bowl, and it's still dripping. You're absolutely right. Life is an experiment. So that's what we're doing today. We have power, we have electricity, and we're going to be baking bread, dehydrating our peas while it's cooler, because tomorrow's supposed to be upper 80s and humid. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I think it cools down to about 80 on Friday. So take advantage of those cool days for dehydrating your foods and baking. What do you got? Each breath you breathe in is life. Nothing in the universe is ever wasted. There are bacteria that eat through plastic. Yeah. The Mother Nature is very crafty and good like that. So with that being said, we're going to have this rise and maybe pick out another recipe. Maybe we'll do one from the wartime recipe books. Can I have that up here? Oh, I do. Hold on. I got the cabinet at the ready. Food facts front. I think this will be fun. Being very crafty with what they had and making do with rationing that was going on. Like potato suet crust. Woo-hoo! Potato stuffing, potato bread. It's going to be interesting. Maybe one of these days we'll just flip through the book and one of you guys can say stop. Or, pick a page number. No, let's do that right now. On YouTube, the pages for recipes go from 11 to, oh boy, I'm going to get the phone one. 11 to 122. So Robert, Mr. Boston, whoever else is on there, pick a page number 11 through 122, and we're going to do that one next week and see how that turns out. Sean Bartel, 72. All right, your first to post, so let's see. God, I hope it's a good one. Don't let it be leaks. Don't let it be leaks.
Mom, it's okay to try it. You might even change your mind when you're
herring. Grilled herrings. Sean, you're funny. All right, you got herrings and jelly. Herring rose, soft rose. I have no idea what that is. Soft roe potato cakes. Soft rose or chilled or poached kippers. Grilled kipper. Grilled bloaters. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Why is everything involved with grilled?
I don't know. Filleted bloaters on baked bread. So I'm assuming that's fish. And bloaters for lunch. Oh, this is going to be fun. 2 herrings, 1 tablespoon chopped parsley. And then a mustard sauce.
Mom, what's a giant mountain?
All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. The first person to pick a number 1 through 4, we're gonna make that. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I gotta go find herring. Pick it. Let's just keep this ball rolling. Oh no. This is 3. Herring roes, soft roes. Simmer them in little milk for 10 minutes. Drain, curl the roes. I don't think what the heck roes are. And place on toast with a tiny sprig of parsley on each. This is gonna be fun. Who wants to see a mom make weird face? I should have picked 1 through 10 next time. All right. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. All right. All right, I'm gonna keep the fans handy on Monday. We're cooking with herring. Fish eggs. No, I don't see that on here. We're not doing that either. Oh God. All right, everyone, thank Sean for the weird faces next week. Is there a 77? Oh God, let's see what's on that page.
Are they trying to make you barf?
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Grilled bream, that's a fish. Baked roach. Oh my God, this is gonna be fun. Salmon trout. Okay, grilled trout. Oh, hey, grilled trout. All right.
That's nice.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right, folks. Which one are you more interested in, herring or trout?
Just say trout.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out what roe is. I gotta figure that out. What's roe? Is that like a bread? Interesting.
Interesting.
Fish brain. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. No.
Ew.
Are you serious? What's roe? Does anyone want to look that one up? Roe. What's a roe? Simmer them. What is that? Upscale and clean, or scale and clean fish. Herrings. Remove heads. Dose lightly. Oh my gosh. Very interesting. Red piranha brain on the male. Oh God. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we're gonna figure this one out next week. So, page 72, courtesy of Sean, and number 4, courtesy of Rob. Soft roe potato cakes. Wait, 1, 2, yeah. You said 3 or 4. What'd you say? 3. I'm sorry. Crap. Herring roes, soft roes. Simmer them in little milk for 10 minutes. Drain carefully. Curl the roes and place on toast. Okay, maybe we'll put this on some potato bread. What do you think?
Yeah.
That part will be fun. Okay, I'm excited. Not really, but we're going to go for it anyways. Very intriguing, yeah. All right. Next Monday's going to be fun. All right, I got to figure out what a roe is and then incorporate it with some herring.
First of all, we gotta know what the heck.
We're going to figure that out, so. This video will be done by the end of the week. We'll let you know how this adventure turns out. But yeah, there's a lot of liquids on the bottom. Very interesting. I want to see if I can show you guys. The lighting may not be favorable, but let me see if I can turn this for you guys. This way? All right. See the liquid in there? There's like an easily good 1/4 cup of liquids on the bottom. So that's working really well. Drying meat with salt. It's still dripping, which is fascinating. Very interesting recipe. I gotta go find herring. I'm gonna wonder if I should get canned. Oh, you know, it'd be interesting. Let me see if I can find some dried, because I think the times very rarely fresh that you would find unless you're very early in those queue lines, or it might have come to you salted. So you know what? I'll do some research. I'm gonna get creative and figure out what to do with that recipe. So this is still dripping. That's doing really well. How are you guys doing? Yeah, this is interesting. But hey, you know what? Back in the day, they very much made do with what they had, didn't they? All right, so we have a old school 1805 recipe of potato bread that's rising right now, which we'll be baking in about an hour. A herring recipe, which we'll be looking forward to trying next Monday. All right. Curiosity is a fun thing. All right, I think we're gonna end it here. I'm gonna go bake some bread pretty soon. But yeah, you guys, I will put together a video tomorrow with updated news, weather information going on globally. I did put out a video that my daughter actually helped me film. She did a great job of the food shortages and the empty shelves that we saw at a random grocery store we went to. So guys, check that one out. Let me know how you guys are doing with groceries and food around your area. It's very sporadic. I've seen different videos and pictures around the country of hit or miss situations with food. So we're going to end it here. Thanks for watching. Look out for the video at the end of this week. We'll see how this does. I hope this does well. I want to try that. I want to see if it works. And look out for the video tomorrow afternoon or evening with the updated information, news, crop shortage situation, and anything else that may catch my eye. South Sandwich Islands earthquakes, very consistent. There was another 2.7 earthquakes, 7.2 and then a 7.0 just within the last, I want to say, 36 hours. So very interesting. Surprisingly, no tsunami warnings that came from those. So that would very much impact the East Coast if that were to throw any tsunami waves. So keep an eye out for that. And if anything does come of that, I will very much quickly put that out on the channel as quickly as possible, let you guys know of that. Thank you very much for watching and hanging out. You guys be safe and well. And I will talk to you all later.